AU Small Finance Bank has got Reserve Bank of India's green signal to convert into a universal bank, joining the big leagues of ICICI Bank, HDFC and Axis Bank. But does this license mean more opportunities or more challenges going forward? In this video, we answer 5 big questions investors and customers are asking right now. AU Small Finance Bank's existing retail loan portfolio, risk or strength as a universal bank? Is AU Small Finance Bank's business is too regionally concentrated? Can AU Small Finance Bank match peers, especially mid-sized banks, on CASA ratio? Will rising term deposit pressure will impact its cost of funds? And finally, will Sanjay Agarwal face succession challenges like what we saw in the case of Uday Kotak? Now let's first look at the loan mix. This is the chart of the entire business portfolio of AU Small Finance Bank. So secured retail is almost 70% in its loan portfolio. If you look at commercial banking, is around 20%. MFI is 7.1, and this is the segment जहाँ हमने last 1 year में काफी stress देखी है for all other banks. So MFI 7.1, it is also very high yielding business. If you look at credit card and personal loan, it is around 3.8 or around 4%. So this is the way the entire loan book of AU Small Finance Bank looks like. And let's go more deeper into the retail portion, which is around 70%. Now here the big challenge lies. There is a very high vehicle loan dependence. If you look at the retail part, almost 33 to 37% comes from vehicle side, which is commercial vehicle, which is the largest share, around 18 to 20%. Then they have passenger vehicle, which is around 7 to 8. Then they have two-wheeler, which is around 4 to 5%, and they also have used and refinance portion, which is around 4 to 5%. And the balance is home loans and gold loan. Now if you look at the home loan part, which is the secured and a very stable business in banking, now it's around 14%. It is much lower than its peer. So that is one area where I see challenges, and they have to scale up the home loan part. Gold loan is okay, is around 14%, and MSME micro business is around 5 to 6%. So they are keeping their focus on small business customer, which is in a way should work for it. But we have to see AU Small Finance Bank's plan to get into let's say mid to large corporate loans. And second is the home loan part. I mean, they need to scale up the home loan portfolio. Now let's look at this second chart of regional comparison. Now if you look at the contribution of top 3 states, now share of advances is around 54% hai, deposit 55% hai. Now that shows geographic concentration. A bulk of their business is concentrated in the top 3 states. इसको मैं एक रिस्क की तरह और एक चैलेंज की तरह देखता हूँ for AU Small Finance Bank. Rajasthan, this bank is headquartered in Rajasthan. Now they are planning to shift to Mumbai. The share earlier was 52% in FY18. Now it is 27, which is a very positive sign. Other key state, the balance share है जहाँ पर they need to scale up their presence. Southern state. Now this is very important. Very small, but growing. Deposits also small but growing. Diversification from mergers, scale up limited. So recently, they have acquired, FinCare, Small Finance Bank, and again, जो मुझे लगता है कि this southern state, I mean, that is going to be a big challenge, for AU Small Finance Bank, and we have to see how, they scale up their presence, in these, southern states, both for advances and also, for deposit. Now let's look at, the CASA ratio, current and the semi accounts, which are low cost deposits, for banks, and they help a lot in reducing the cost of fund, and then in a way they improve the NIMs, net interest margins and other thing. If you look at Kotak Bank, the CASA is around 43%. IndusInd Bank is a mid-sized bank. If you look at it's 33%. Kotak is also classifies as a mid-sized bank. We have IDFC First Bank. It has 47%. Very new bank. Where we have seen the change management, and CASA is 47%. Federal Bank, which is South based, the CASA is around 30%, and AU Small Finance Bank, it has the lowest CASA if I look at the some of the big banks in the mid-size segment, and that's where I see challenges for AU Small Finance Bank to raise low-cost deposits and to improve NIMs, and then the valuation and other things. And let's understand the CASA part in more detail. Now, the current CEO Sanjay Agarwal, he has stressed that bringing cost of fund down from current 7% to peers around 6% is the immediate focus. Second, absolute CASA deposits are rising, but the CASA ratio is slipping, as term deposit outpace the low cost CASA deposit. And without CASA improvement, you could face funding pressure. This is a very important chart on the MD CEO tenor and RBI rules. Now, if you look at the maximum tenor as per RBI rule is 12 to 15 years, and Sanjay Agarwal has already completed around 9 years. So if you see, if 12 year is the upper limit, then he has another 3 years. Now, if 15 is the upper limit, then he has another 5-6 years. So upper limit is the 70 years, and Sanjay is around 54 years old. So he has a lot of time, but this rule of 12 to 15 years will come on his tenor extension. Now let's assume that he doesn't get extension after the RBI's upper limit of 12 to 15 years. He can still be on the board as a non-executive director, or he can be a chairman also, depending on RBI's approval. Now let's look at the Uday Kotak. When Uday Kotak stepped down as MD CEO of Kotak Bank in December 2023, post his stepping down, he remained on the board as non-executive director. He's not the chairman, but he's a non-executive director there. Now this case set the precedent that promoters can retain influence on the board even after vacating the CEO's chair, as long as RBI is comfortable with the governance structure. And second big issue is on the succession planning. That's where I see lot of challenges. If you look at ICICI Bank had a very good leader in the form of KV Kamath. When the successor came, Chanda Kochar, and we saw what happened in the bank, and he had to leave midway, and then Sandeep Bakshi came in and he stabilized the ship. Look at HDFC Bank. Post Aditya Puri, we have Sasi Jagdishan. He's trying hard, but if you see, the bank has not given any return in the last 3-4 years. And finally, if you look at the IndusInd Bank, in a very recent case where we have seen Ramesh Sopti turning around the bank, and then he handed the baton to Sumant, and later we saw the charges of insider trading, and SEBI is already investigating a lot of issues there. So succession again is going to be a big issue in this bank. If you're planning to invest in, let's say, 3-year, 5-year, succession is going to be a big issue. So as you can see, there are 3 or 4 big challenges for AU Small Finance Bank in the years ahead. Right from asset mix, where it has to improve its presence in the home loan, to low cost CASA deposit, where it has to improve its CASA from 29 to at least 35-36%. The regional concentration, both on the deposit and the advances side. And finally, the succession in the next 3 to 5 years down the line. I see big challenges for the bank on the succession side.
Hey everyone, only 1 in 10 viewers actually subscribes to our channel. If you're part of the 90%, change that today. Help us grow and hit the subscribe button.